he did Macarena. Yeah, amazing.
That was great. It was absolutely fantastic.
Other questions?
More
Here
questions?
you go. You need some.
Corey.
Thanks, Renee. Hey, Tony. Hey, guys. Corey Lee with the Wrestling Observer. I want to talk to Bandito. Starting at the beginning of the year, you suffered a concussion, making your return kind of get you settled. And pretty much ever since, you've been on the ground running. I mean, you are in the talk for most outstanding wrestler of the year with pretty much how you've been doing. Talk a little bit about how from that injury to where you are right now as tag team champions, and then obviously with the Ring of Honor World Championship and the matches you have with Takeshita, and with Mystico and everything that you've done so far this year. Kind of, in your own words, kind of just talk about your mindset on how this year has gone for you.
Oh, thank you very much for the question. I'm just grateful with all that stuff. At the beginning of the year, I got a concussion, and Tony, the company, all the guys believe in me, even with the concussion. And then the crazy matches, the good matches, and all that stuff is blessed for my life and for me. As a wrestler, as a person, I'm really happy now with everything, and I hope to doing the best just for all the fans from AEW and for all the people on their homes who believe everything is possible.
I think he's too humble to answer that question himself. Every week he goes out and he does double duty every week. He does Ring of Honor, he does AEW, and he crushes it every week. In every pay-per-view match, he puts everything out there. I mean, we did England, then in the ladder match, or we did England, and then we did you did Hechicero,
Yeah.
And then you did Ring of Honor TV, you did AEW TV. You had 5 crazy matches in a row. He's, in my opinion, hands down,
Thank you.
one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet right
You
now.
are the best, hermano. Yeah, you're the best. Thank you. In my mind was I never gonna have another match again, and then I'm just so grateful to be on the ring and even with this guy. Yeah, my hermano. Thank you.
One more question for Brodito.
Hi, Matt Brennan, Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, the Barn Media Group. You guys were somewhat of an unlikely pairing at the beginning, and now we've turned into a hell of a run. And it's been so impressive with such a deep tag team division that we have here in AEW. Who's next? What's on the horizon?
Tony?
Well, I think there's a lot of top teams. I mean, tonight we've seen top teams throughout. I think certainly it's a stacked division. I agreed with, first of all, I thought Jurassic Express and Young Bucks was a great match.
Yep.
And with Jurassic Express picking up the win, it was very impressive return to form. But I also agreed with what the Young Bucks said this week. I think the tag division is at an all-time high right now, the quality of competition. The Young Bucks came back to AEW, and this year they have been outstanding, and they've also found the tag team competition in AEW to be at an all-time high. So you saw great teams tonight like Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, and obviously it was a very interesting way to start the pay-per-view tonight, something I don't think anybody's ever seen before, with the AEW Collision leading into the pay-per-view with a match carrying over, fireworks literally to start the pay-per-view tonight. It was I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad to hear you thought that. And Jet Speed and FTR had an incredible match, a pretty controversial way for FTR to sneak it out. It was an incredible match. I think those are also great teams, all these teams and many more. We've seen great teams and great trios, great combinations in AEW. I think there's a lot of combinations in line for these championships. So without a doubt, great competition. And the 2 wrestlers that you defeated tonight are maybe 2 of the greatest in the world individually. Collectively, they were incredible. The match was incredible, but I thought it was really telling to see the relationship between the 2 of them compared to the relationship between the 2 of you. And tag team wrestling, so much of it is about skill, but so much of it is also about the chemistry between the people and the way they fight for each other and the way you guys fight and support each other time after time after time. And also, I thought leading into this match, the way Brody maybe helped pick you up coming out of this at Title Tuesday and lifted you up, it was very successful.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see. And I think a lot of fans enjoyed seeing Brody lift your spirits. And together, you guys pulled out an incredible victory. I'm really excited to see what will happen this Wednesday on Dynamite, because you guys have had these great opportunities as a team. And like Brody said, Bandito's taken on so much in AEW, in Ring of Honor, even going down to Arena Mexico time after time. These great matches.
Stop.
And as a team, you guys have gone down there. As an individual, he's gone down there defending the title. You had an injury there, and you still came back and made all your commitments in AEW with the injury. And now you have a huge opportunity, to say the least, wrestling one of the all-time greatest wrestlers, and a man who very few people in this sport and almost nobody in AEW can say they've ever pinned. And now you can put yourself on the very shortest, most exclusive list of people who've come away with a win over Kazuchika Okada. And if you can do it this Wednesday, it would be incredible. And you would be, I think it would be safe to say, the most decorated professional wrestler on the planet when it comes to different world championships. Thank you.
And again, to follow up on your question, I think the reason that, we were thrown into the fire right away. We had to wrestle FTR. We wrestled the Hurt Syndicate. We wrestled the Young Bucks multiple times. It's like the accolades that these people have is, undeniable. And like there's a proven track record of their success as tag team wrestlers. And then tonight, Kazuchika Okada and Takeshita are just unbelievable professional wrestlers. So it's like we never had a chance to not be the best that we can be. So it just works.
Brodito, thank you so much for joining us here at the press conference. Congratulations on successfully retaining your AEW World Tag Team Championships. And Bandito, good luck on Wednesday against Okada.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you to you for waiting for this press conference. Thank you to Tony for this amazing moment. Thank you to all the fans who believe in this dream, AEW. We are here. We are Brodito. Thanks for believing, Brodito. Everything is possible. Thank you, hermano. Boom, boom, boom! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you, Brody. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna grab this.
Yes, it's yours.
Yeah, it's mine.
Maybe you'll have another one on
Thank you.
Wednesday. Buckle up.
Fantastic.
See you on Wednesday, puppy.
See you on Wednesday, my friends. Congratulations. That's
I
great.
mean, they're pretty infectious too.
That is really cool.
Big fan.
Very cool.
We're going to roll on here at the WrestleDream press conference. Joining us now, the AEW Women's World Champion, Miss Chris Statlander. Hi.
Here we are again.
You did it.
I did it.
Welcome back.
You did do it. Do you feel a sense of relief tonight, having defeated Toni Storm one-on-one? This match was so anticipated. You came out on the other side. How do you feel?
I don't really feel a sense of relief because I got my celebration cut short by Mercedes. So I didn't really get a chance to admire the thing that we had just done and just appreciate the moment that we had created. So now I have to handle more business.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Any questions for the champ?
Thanks again, Renee. Appreciate it. Corey Lee with the Wrestling Observer now. Before the pay-per-view went off the air, Mercedes did challenge you to a match at Full Gear. This will be the third match that you guys had. She has won the past two. Do you want this to be title for title? And then the other thing is do you want this to be the main event? Because the women's title has never been main evented on a pay-per-view in AEW. And we had 3 women's matches on this show. I think we're going to have a Women Blood and Guts coming up. Would you like to be the main event for Full Gear?
Well, first of all, thank you for reminding me of losing twice to her already. That's a really kind thing of you to do. Secondly, I think depending on what the circumstances are leading up to Full Gear, there could be some more insane stipulations. And would I love to be the main event? Absolutely. But sometimes there are other things that are a little bit more played out and they have a little bit more deserving of a moment than you. And sometimes it's okay to take that step back and just be like, I'm going to do the best that I can in the spot that I am. So would I love that? Absolutely. Is it okay if it's not? Absolutely. I'm still getting a moment to prove to her that not only am I better than her, because she has never laid hands on this, I have now, that this is my moment to beat her. And I'll do it at the beginning of the show, the end of the show, in the middle of the show. I'll do it any day of the week. So it's not about when it is on the card. It's about how you do it.
That's right.
You also
Yes.
did what she never did. You beat Timeless Tony Storm.
Exactly. Twice now. Although the first time was a triple threat. So,
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
But this
multiple-
is one-on-one.
This is your first ever one-on-one match. You beat her, and that's
Exactly.
something Mercedes could not do.
Yeah. So suck it, Mercedes.
Very good.
Any other questions for Chris?
How's it going, guys? Daryl Starks with Covalent TV. Chris, I have to ask, because we saw in the video package leading to the match tonight, your journey, seeing you from the very
Yes.
beginning all the way up until now. What is your recipe to reinvention?
Man, it's hard because I've done a lot of reinventing lately. I still feel like I'm in a little bit of my reformation, sort of, and trying to get people to understand that who I am is little bits of everything I've been before. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the recipe to it is you have to kind of find your own journey. Some people know who they are very early on in their lives, and that's great for them. Some people, it takes longer to do that. So I think it's not nice to shame people for not knowing who they are when they're figuring it out on a live television show week after week. So it's different for everybody. You can't tell anybody how to live their life and how to be themselves, basically.
One last question for Miss Statlander.
Who's brave?
Who is brave?
Not a lot of brave people.
Who's got the guts? Here we go.
Okay,
Here we go.
We got one.
How you doing? Sloan Kettering, Sucio Boys Podcast, CDB Multimedia Network. With you being the new champion, who do you feel deserves a shot at your title that's not in the title picture now, like a up-and-comer, preferably somebody younger?
Well, I feel like it could be anybody at this point, but I think someone who probably thinks they deserve, and a lot of people in related to her or in relation to her that want to see her kind of take me out is probably Marina. I feel like possibly Death Riders might have a little bit of a, they might be not so keen on me right now. And if they need me to put her in her place, they will. And also, if Willie Yuta wants to step up and challenge for this, I will put him in his place right the same. So whoever's brave enough. I'm open to any and all challenges, and I'm open to giving anyone a shot who is worthy. And I think if you are here and you are putting your best foot forward, you are worthy. So whoever wants to step up.
Yeah, it's a great point about Marina.
Yeah, she's really
Great point.
she's really a rascal. A lot of those Death Riders, rascals.
Yeah.
So
True. Don't I know it?
yeah.
Statlander, congratulations on successfully retaining your title tonight. This was huge against Tony Storm. I hope that you can celebrate a little bit tonight and see what goes down on Wednesday.
Hey, thank you so much.
That was one of my
Thank you.
favorite pay-per-views we've ever had. And I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much. And also congratulations, because I know Mercedes may have cut your celebration short, but you were a huge part of one of them, in my opinion, just personally. I thought it was one of the best AEW pay-per-views ever. And you've been on so many great ones. And I think this was the best one yet. And you're the world champion.
Thank you. I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm happy to have your trust in being put in this position. So thank you so much.
Thank you, champ. That's so sweet. That's so damn sweet.
Hey, move
Makes
it
me
along.
so happy. Feels so good. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, champ. That was great.
From one champion to another, let's bring out the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher.
Mm. A less sunny disposition.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Hi, Renee.
Hello.
What's
I
up?
see you did not bring Don Callis yet again.
Thank you for not
You're
bringing
welcome.
Don.
What a thrill.
We had a chair for him, and I'm happy to not have it filled.
Someone else likes to come and take the chair.
No.
We're
It's
all
good.
set. We're
Good.
good.
We're happy.
I'm gonna come closer.
That's
to
great.
You.
I would like that. I would like that. There's
Feels
no,
weird. You're not my Uber driver.
there's no buffer zone needed.
Please
We can
no.
put it in if you want.
Kyle, this was a big night for the Don Callis family. You guys had a lot of different matches, a lot of different championship matches, but you versus Mark Briscoe, you guys both had 2 apiece coming into this rubber match. Is Mark Briscoe finally in your rearview mirror?
I mean, the score seems to suggest that
Yes.
3-2. But you know how professional wrestling is; things are changing constantly. Yeah, I mean, right now he's at the back of the line, but that's not to say within the next couple of months he doesn't go on a big winning streak and then looks to come back and challenge me again. And I mean, I'm more than happy and ready for the challenge.
I thought it was under some, you're a great wrestler and you've had so many great wins. I thought it may have been under somewhat questionable circumstances, given your great track record, especially after you played it so spotlessly clean last month. I thought it all out.
Wow. Throwing digs, huh? I see how it is, Tony.
It was a great match, and I have to say this.
It was a great match, wasn't
It was
it?
a great match.
It was a great
With
match.
the correct winner.
I give it up to you. And it was a great match, and you do hold the 3-2 lead, and you're one of the greatest champions in wrestling, and you're on an amazing run this year.
He's won me back.
Thank you.
Any questions for the Proto Star? Who do we got? Step right up.
Hand that man a microphone.
Matt Brandon, Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, Barn Media Group. Kyle, your run has been outstanding.
Thank you.
I mean, one of the top, if not the top, TNT champion of all time. However, there's another big belt out there that you were so close.
Yes.
I know that's not in your rear view. Is that what we got our mindset on now?
It's an interesting question, right? It's like Hangman said to me, it's what you do after. Obviously, that was a huge I hit a roadblock. I've been very confident. I've been over the top confident. I went into that match confident. I really thought I was ready. So yeah, I got knocked down a peg or two, and that's hard. And it was hard for me the next day. It was hard to figure out what the next steps were. But looking at this title, I think this is my present. This is what I need to focus on. It's what I want to focus on. I want to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. But I make no qualms about it. I want to be the greatest of all time, the greatest champion, the greatest wrestler in general of all time. And I don't think you can do that without winning a couple of world titles. So yeah, it is absolutely in my mind. It's just a matter of when. I think it's a certainty to me that it does happen, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see about when it does, of course.
Any other questions for Kyle?
Hi, I have a little voice, so I need the microphone for sure. Alicia McPherson, Fox 2, St. Louis.
Hi.
Nice to see you again. You've had a complicated history with Will Ospreay.
Oh.
With him out on injury, have you reached out to him? And if so, how has that interaction gone?
Nope, don't care. Next question. Thank God he's not here.
Any other questions for Kyle tonight? Oh, there's one more down there. Let's get a
Let's
final
go.
question for Kyle.
Please.
Patrick with the Kraken Wrestling Podcast.
Hello.
With Mark Briscoe behind you, who do you see as your next real big opponent?
I think that is firstly a question for the man to my left.
Well, I'm not sure, to be fair. I don't know if that was the most, I'm not sure Mark Briscoe.
Maybe it's not a question for the man to my left. Mark Briscoe. See you later, brother. See you next.
I thought it was pretty presumptive. I will
Decade, I
say
don't
it was
know.
one of the greatest, one of the great matches, and also in a match. It's your 5th match, and I thought of the 5, I thought it was probably the best yet. But I thought, the way you went about it wasn't necessarily
dropping him on his head on the top turnbuckle and pinning him clean as a whistle.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah. There you go.
You took. After
As
going.
for my next challenger, I think there are a lot of people that probably are going to want to step up. I'm going to be there Wednesday. If someone would like to make themselves apparent, that is totally up to them. I plan on being the greatest TNT champion of all time. Does not matter who steps up next. The same fate will come to them, and the protostar will continue. This fantastic reign, I think.
It is fantastic.
It is
and
fantastic.
you do have the 3-2 advantage in the rivalry.
Brock
It is a
Briscoe
great
again,
rivalry.
man. Oh
It
my,
is a great
this
rivalry.
guy.
The guy is a great rivalry. I can't get past
Obsessed
it.
with Briscoe.
You are.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with you too. I think you're absolutely fantastic. I'm obsessed with it, and I think it's been a great 5 matches. And I think of the 5, you guys have wrestled in with big stakes, pay-per-views, Continental Classic, and I thought it was probably the best match yet. But
and the final match. Let's go.
We could do a best of 7.
well, I thought it was
Shut
a great
up,
one.
Renee.
I thought it was great. Congratulations.
Congrats,
question.
Kyle.
Cool.
You're good. You were
good.
free.
Amazing.
The
Free
TNT champion,
Hey, congrats.
everybody. Kyle Fletcher.
I'll come get you.
Come on.
Oh man.
Thanks.
We're moving the middle.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, scooch.
Hey, congratulations
Of course.
again, Kyle.
Do you
Thanks
want
very
to
much.
get coffees with you? Oh, you got a fresh coffee?
Yeah, you want it?
Why don't I
That's
get a
yours.
fresh coffee?
You want it? No, it's
No,
yours.
no.
You take that one.
No.
Yeah, it's here. You want to split it?
Sure.
Here,
let's
I'll split it. Yeah, that's good.
Let's
I'll
split it.
split it with you. I'll take half.
I would love to.
Let's
split
go.
a
We'll go
coffee.
halvesies on a coffee with you, buddy.
What a night.
It's no Tim Hortons.
It's not, but it's all right. I'll work with it.
What
I
a
can work
night.
with it. What a night. An insane, incredible night.
At the end, I imagine it was a pretty hard night for you.
It was a different listen from the get-go. I knew coming into watching this I Quit match was going to be difficult. This is coming off of the coffin match, seeing how brutal and hellacious that was, to imagine what these two guys were going to do to each other tonight. Obviously I was able to see John before I walked in here. He's in rough shape. He is bleeding all down his arms from the fish tank that got him bad. But he's standing. He's here. He's, it is what it is. It's part of my job is accepting what happens in that ring.
Well, it was one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time, and I'm very grateful to both of them and everyone on the show for what they did to sacrifice their bodies to make what I thought was probably our best show.
Yeah. Let's talk about the crowd in St. Louis tonight, because my goodness, they were loud. They were with it. I mean, you guys really showed up. Where does St. Louis rank for you in terms of a great wrestling city?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Renee. St. Louis is one of the greatest wrestling cities. I think it's a worldwide mecca of pro wrestling, and I was so proud that we had this event here. I thought we surpassed what was even a great debut pay-per-view last year with Dynasty, and coming in, it's, pretty hard to top such an incredible show, and I thought we absolutely lived up to the standard we set when we debuted here. I think this is one of the top wrestling cities in the world, and it has been for many, many, many decades. There's a great tradition of pro wrestling in the city of St. Louis. It goes back many years. It's a real honor to be able to promote wrestling here in the city where Sam Mushnick promoted professional wrestling. It was a real honor to have the wife of the late, great Lou Thez, Mrs. Charlie Thez, here in the venue tonight. And, she came back and saw me backstage after watching the show, and it was really incredible. She said she was blown away. She was so impressed, and it was really, really high praise. I was blown away, and I'm very flattered and proud that she enjoyed the show. I think that embodies the spirit of the city and the tradition that we were able to transcend so many generations of wrestling and have Mrs. Thez, who's seen so much wrestling. And she is very wrestling savvy. I can tell you from talking to stories about her in the back. She's still very bitter about something Jackie Fargo did to Lou Thez. It was very, very surreal. Being able to have her tell me about how seriously Carl Gotch took things, and very cool. And to have her enjoy the show like she did AEW, I was really proud of that. I think it's a great tradition here, and the fans just absolutely really, really, I think, earned themselves another great pay-per-view here. And it was absolutely fantastic. I was really blown away. I enjoyed visiting with some of you and making the media rounds this week. I don't think I've ever done more in-person media in 1 week for a pay-per-view. I was just about everywhere. Some of the guys were out eating dinner last night, and they said, yeah, we looked up in the bar TV and you were on TV promoting the show. So we got around, and I think it paid off. It was a great crowd. And I think there will be more people in the house tonight than there were when we were here last year, and start to finish, just an absolutely spectacular show. So St. Louis really lived up to their reputation tonight, I thought, as one of the best wrestling cities in the world. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions for Tony Khan? Oh, we got a few.
A
Everyone,
lot.
we're lively now. Here we
A
go.
lot.
Sloan Kettering, Sucio Boys Podcast, CDB Multimedia. With this being a event in the Midwest, you being a Midwest guy, we're both from the same town, Champaign, Illinois. Will you
What high school did you go to?
Central.
Really?
Class of 02.
That's okay. Okay. Not that far apart.
Yeah. Will you consider bringing events sort of like this to I don't know what they call it now, Assembly Hall? They changed the name.
I've done 2 shows there.
Well,
actually, we did one before the pandemic, one of the first episodes of Dynamite in
I was there.
2019. And then I was back just last year. We did the first show after All In was in.
Well, I live in Oakland now. So
okay.
I'm just home for this because I got a press pass for this.
We actually were in Champaign last year for Dynamite, and it was great.
My thing is, will you bring a pay-per-view to Champaign?
Oh, that's very interesting. A pay-per-view in Champaign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I've never even, to be honest, I haven't thought of that. It was a dream come true to bring Dynamite there because when I was growing up in Champaign and when we were growing up in Champaign, we never had that. We would get house shows and we had some nice things, but no, you're right. We never got, the pay-per-views. Did you go to there was a house show probably when you were just finishing up high school that was as close as I ever saw the Assembly Hall to being full and for wrestling, and it was half full. And it was Steve Austin and The Rock. And that's the biggest crowd I ever saw there. The most crowd I ever saw there was a half full building for a show with Steve Austin and The Rock on it, with Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho versus The Rock. I was there and it was half full, and that's the most people I ever saw in the building.
So a little trepidation.
So yeah, it's not the biggest. It's not the best wrestling market.
Well, actually, I was there Super Bowl Sunday 05.
I was there at that Super Bowl Sunday show. There were maybe 2,000 people there,
and it was a great show.
It was a great show. It was MVP versus Chris Benoit. There were maybe 1,500 people there.
And MVP threw something at me, and I can't remember.
That was 2000. Yeah, it was January, or I guess February of 2007. That show, I was there. That was my senior year of college. Yeah, but anyway, it's great to talk Champaign wrestling matches. I would like to bring the show back to Champaign at some point. We've done 2 episodes of Dynamite there. I think it's a really good market to bring the TV show to. It could be great for a pay-per-view too, honestly. I would like to see a wrestling show sell out in Champaign because I've never seen one of those. So
next question.
Hi, AJ from the AJ Awesome Show.
Hey, you look great. It's really nice to see how much you've grown since we started doing this.
Yes,
yeah, it's nice to see you again. I'm finally up here in St. Louis.
Really, it's really cool. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic, AJ. It's really nice to see you.
At the end of the night, we saw Sting come out. Is this just going to be a one-time return, or are we going to see him back? And how did this come along with getting him to come here tonight?
Well, Sting's still a huge part of AEW, and he's still a big part of the family. He's been away from AEW on screen, but we've still seen Sting, and he even visited us in Philadelphia. We did something off screen with Sting, but this is the first time we've seen Sting back on AEW TV since Revolution, and it was a really great moment. And it was very, very, very awesome for all of us to see Sting backstage and to have him back appearing in the ring in AEW. But we did get to see him in Philadelphia. He was actually at the show just, about a month ago. And we did a tribute to one of his mentors, the late, great Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I had talked to Sting about coming back for something special like this. And he was always open to returning to AEW, especially if Darby ever needed anything. The connection between those two is really special. It's a real thing. And I have to say, when I first introduced the two of them, when Sting was interested in returning to wrestling, who would have ever thought what the partnership could yield, that they would have gone on this run. They would have the greatest tag team run ever in AEW. They had an undefeated record, but they also built a bond that is really special inside the ring, really special chemistry inside the ring, but also outside of the ring. It is a really close bond. Those two are very close. There's no show business at all to it. It's a really authentic thing. So if Darby ever needs anything, anywhere, any place, anytime, he can depend on Sting. So I think for him, if there was ever a question Darby might be in trouble, he was not going to hesitate to step in. And especially when the odds were against Darby, there were all these people, and Darby's fighting this incredibly brave battle against the odds. I never questioned Sting would be there to help him. But it's always good to see Sting. You know, we had a really nice visit with him earlier, like I said, last month, but it was under very, very different circumstances than this. So this was really cool to see Sting back in action. Thanks, AJ, and it's nice to see you. Thanks, buddy.
Next question for Tony.
Hey, Tony, DC Hendricks here for bodyslam.net. My first AEW show.
Really?
Live.
Thank you.
So very well done.
Good hat.
Very.
Did you get that here today?
I did today.
It's a
My
beauty.
first show. I had to do something.
I love it.
I really appreciate that you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed your first show.
Thank you. I did a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you.
I will say though, my inbox was blowing up from people talking about Amazon Prime went out during the main event. I don't know if you were aware of that,
Yeah.
and could you address that for them?
Yeah, it's something out of AEW's control. It was a technical problem with the Amazon delivery. I think our other streams were unaffected. It was something with their systems internally there. It does remind me to some extent of what happened earlier this summer with Death Before Dishonor, because to be honest, those are two of my favorite pay-per-views of the entire year. I think it was also a start to finish a perfect show. And I remember walking into the Scrum with the exact same feeling, in the sense of, I thought the show was perfect. I thought the wrestlers delivered, the crowd delivered, and the whole team backstage and in the ring delivered. And I was so proud of everybody in AEW. And there was just this technical thing completely out of our control with a streaming provider. And in this case, it was a similar thing. I thought the show was perfect. The wrestling was perfect. And the replay is going to be available there for everybody through them. And I think, you know, they'll address that. And hopefully Amazon will get that figured out. But for our AEW, everybody here did a fantastic job. I was really glad to hear that HBO Max delivered the pay-per-view without any issues. All of our other providers did really well. But that was an unusual thing, and it did remind me, because we had a problem with just certain web browsers that were affected for that Death Before Dishonor show. And in that case, you know, I was able to at least address it because it was a streaming service that I owned. So it was the only difference there. But the similarity, two of my favorite shows, start to finish, everybody in AEW did a great job on this show. Everyone in ROH did a great job on Death Before Dishonor. Two of the best pay-per-views of the year, but in that sense, it was similar. But since I don't own Amazon Prime, some of that's out of my control. Thanks for asking. And I am really glad that you here enjoyed your experience, because to hear that from somebody who was at their first ever AEW show and liked it, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, Corey.
You want this? There you go. Sorry, I beat you to it.
Listen,
We're closer.
just put a microphone right here. If it's fine. Question for you. Bryan Danielson was not on the show today as an announcer. Was there any particular reason for that? Was he not booked for the show, or he's not going to be doing announcing for the pay-per-view?
No, he'll be back. To be honest, there's a couple of things. I think it made sense given what was happening with the main event. I think it would have been really, really hard for Bryan to restrain himself. And now, knowing what John had planned, I also think it would have been really hard for Bryan to sit there at the desk while Darby is in that position. And since Bryan had a family commitment, I told him, hey, if you have a family thing tonight, it's probably the night to go to your family commitment, because I don't want to put you in a position where you might be risking your job if you get up from the desk and interfere in this match. So it's worked out for everybody, because Bryan was able to be with his family as planned. And we had, I think, one of our very best pay-per-views tonight. And Bryan didn't have to risk his job by being in that position at the desk where he's in a no man's land, right? Thanks, Corey.
Two more questions for Tony, which looks like we've got two more hands up. So perfect.
Hi, Phil from Bleacher Report. You're kind of in an unprecedented place right now with Konosuke Takeshita as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. How does that impact your partnership with New Japan? And is there any plans to host another cross-promotional show during Wrestle Kingdom weekend?
Well, that's a great question. as it stands right now, because I think Wrestle Kingdom this year will be more focused on one event, and also there's such a huge thing happening there with President Tanahashi's retirement that I think people are all focused on the night of Wrestle Kingdom and the success they're having, which is really, really exciting to see, and I'm very happy about it. I think there's a lot of great momentum, and I think Takeshita winning the championship can be good for all of these promotions, for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, even his original home promotion of DDT, where he first came to AEW from. Now he represents multiple promotions, but make no mistake, Takeshita is an AEW wrestler. He's an AEW guy, and we're all really, really proud of him. And to have Takeshita return under such auspicious circumstances after accomplishing something that we know meant so much to him. It's a really big deal, as you know, man, for Takeshita. I know you're a student of wrestling, so firsthand, I know you know how much this means to him to capture that championship. Whenever somebody captures a world championship in their career, it's a huge moment in their life, in their, you know, in the case of Takeshita, it represented, it was a very sweet victory for many, many reasons for Takeshita, to prove that I think he belongs at the top of the heap, but also now for him to come back here and to be able to stand next to Kazuchika Okada and wear that championship belt. And Okada did not seem fazed by it at all, but I think you saw it on his face when he did, whether it was accidentally or not, when he did knock Takeshita down. It was interesting to see Okada's reaction. He said, "I'm sorry," but I don't think he was particularly sorry. And based on the gesture he gave when he said it, I don't think it was very sincere. Is a very, 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 very cool thing to have Takeshita capture the IWGP World Championship. And none of us take it lightly. We were all really proud of him, and for him to come in and to be in such a unique position, teaming with the AEW Unified Champion, a former AEW, somebody that I have to say, when we first started this, I never would have dreamed Okada would be in AEW. It's really unthinkable. And I was really sad this past week to bring up another great wrestler who has competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling and been at the top of the profession. When we had Kota Ibushi go down to injury earlier, just last week, what a terrible thing. Kota Ibushi is such a great, great wrestler. I was so proud of the return he made. And to have Kota Ibushi come into AEW and make this kind of comeback, I thought that was really special. To have Kota Ibushi have the kind of match he had at Dynamite 300, I thought that was incredible, because when we started AEW, I never would have dreamed either one of those wrestlers would be in AEW, Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada. And to have that be the Dynamite 300 main event, I was so happy with it. And then the quality of the match was so outstanding. It was such a great main event for the 300th Dynamite, with two people you never would have thought in the first Dynamite would ever step in an AEW ring, probably. And I was really sad to see Kota Ibushi go down for many, many reasons, but he had made a really, really great return to pro wrestling. I thought it was a really great story this year, and I was sad to see Ibushi go down. But I thought it was a really uplifting story when it comes to pro wrestling in Japan and America, to see Takeshita then go to Japan and come back as the IWGP World Champion. And it was a very uplifting thing. I'm very happy for him, and I think it is a very unique situation. He's in a unique position, and certainly now within the Don Callis family, there are so many great champions, but it was very noticeable, the animosity between Okada and Takeshita within the match. And I think every time those two even look at each other, every time they exchange glances, you get really big reactions from the crowd. I think that's really something compelling and interesting. On their individual merits, I think they're two of the very best. But to reiterate what I was saying when Brodito were up here, I thought it was really telling the way Okada and Takeshita treat each other compared to the way Bandito and Brody treat each other. And so in that sense, I think that was uplifting for the fans to see. For Takeshita, he's somebody that joined AEW in Daly's place, and he's been with us a long time. even though he wasn't here at the very beginning of AEW, Takeshita came into AEW at a time when we were all spending time together in Daly's place and in the bubble. And he's really, like, in my opinion, even though he wasn't at the beginning of AEW, in America, he's gotten all this TV experience in AEW. He feels like an AEW homegrown person, even though he had great experience before he came here. So to have somebody that came from our locker room, somebody that came up in Daly's place and worked his way up, somebody that I believe debuted on Elevation and worked his way into the shows and worked his way into main event spots and worked his way into becoming the AEW International Champion, and now has become the IWGP World Champion. It's a really, really cool thing. I also, to be honest, when you asked about having a wrestler from here winning the IWGP World title, I also thought it was really cool when Jon Moxley won the IWGP World title. I went to Chicago and I watched it with Renee, and it was really great, and it was a great moment, and I was really proud also to have a wrestler who was with us at the very beginning of AEW, somebody, although definitely you wouldn't say Jon Moxley's a homegrown star because he had built a worldwide reputation and been a world champion before he came here. So it was cool to have somebody that was with us at the beginning and to see Jon accomplish that, because Jon became the first wrestler, and he may be the only wrestler ever when it's all said and done to win the AEW World title, the WWE World title, and the IWGP World title. And I thought that was so cool, and I still think that was amazing. But it was really, really cool now to have somebody that came up in AEW and had their first American TV experience here and really grew to become a big star in front of these fans' eyes, win the IWGP World title. It was really great. So thanks for asking.
The last question.
Matt Brandon, Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, Barn Media Group. I want to stick with the Takeshita thing. Obviously, he's doing special stuff right now. Obviously, there's also some fantasy booking going on for a lot of people out there. So, number one, how quick do we get to see Takeshita and Okada? Number two, how does IWGP versus AEW World Champion sound?
Well, it'd be interesting at some point. I mean, that would be a very interesting thing. I think, to be fair, Geto and the team, President Tanahashi, we'd all have to talk. And I certainly have no control over what the IWGP World Champion does in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but Takeshita is a big part of our roster, and he's definitely in our plans in a major way. I think something to keep an eye on, you asked me about Okada, we have to see, because after Bandito picked up the huge win tonight, I'm very excited about Bandito versus Okada, and then see what happens coming out of that. Now, obviously, we all know Takeshita and Bandito one-on-one had one of the best, and it's all opinions. Wrestling's all opinions. I thought that was one of the best matches of the year at Supercard. What a phenomenal world title match. And so I think we got to see what happens now when Bandito wrestles Okada one-on-one and what the result of that is, because Okada is having a phenomenal year. Bandito's having a phenomenal year. Each of them has now picked up a win over each other. And Bandito's carrying a lot of gold. Okada's carrying a lot of gold. And especially under these unique rules with no outside interference, knowing this is going to be an awesome one-on-one wrestling match. I cannot wait for that. So Okada has his plate full this Wednesday night on Dynamite with Bandito. And I think Takeshita is going to be watching that one very closely. These are probably, if I had to guess, and he guards himself well when it comes to Okada, but just based on facial expressions and reactions, I would guess that Bandito and Okada probably are two of Takeshita's least favorite people. So he is probably going to be hate watching that one and rooting for them both to get hurt. But I think it's definitely a very interesting situation to keep an eye on. Thank you, man.
Awesome.
This was so great. Renee.
This was great. A huge congratulations to you. Another successful AEW pay-per-view under our belts. We did it again. We get to move on now. Move on to Dynamite next week.
I love it. I had such a great time here. I really appreciate you all being here. Again, I thought it was one of the best shows, and the city of St. Louis really turned out. The fans were so loud and proud, and I was really glad to see how excited people got for this pay-per-view. It was great getting around and visiting so much of the media and hearing firsthand from all of you how pumped you were about this show. What a great wrestling town. Thank you for keeping the tradition of awesome pro wrestling in St. Louis alive. What a nice surprise to see you, AJ. Awesome. You are growing into being an awesome young man, my friend. Thank you. And Renee, congratulations, buddy. We
Hey,
did it again.
We did it again.
We did it again.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for
See you guys.
coming out. Get home safe.